Hi, I'm Chris Wallace from Walnut Hollow, and today we're going to be talking about the Creative Versatool and specifically hot knife point. So this is a Creative Versatool, and inside there is one hot knife point, and this is the tool with the hot knife point on it. I use it for cutting different surfaces like foam core board and foam pumpkins, rubber stamps, and so on. Because of that, I usually use a glass mat. Now this is the one that I use. It's a larger size and it's nice and easy surface for me to protect my work surface. But if you don't have access to a bigger tempered glass mat, you can always go to the hardware store, have them cut a piece of glass for you and just put masking tape around the edges. So I have the hot knife point attached to the Creative Versatool, and I'm going to turn the Versatemp control all the way to the red zone and let the tool heat up for a few minutes. Now this one has already been heating, but I'm going to show you how to cut foam core board. If I want to make a straight cut, I will use a metal ruler and pull the knife right next to the ruler all the way down to the bottom. The ruler will help me keep a straight cut, and what's happening in doing this is that the knife part itself is cutting the paper, but the heat of the tool is cutting the foam that's in between. So if you want a straight cut, make sure that you use a metal ruler. If you want to make a curvy cut, and sometimes you have to make sure that your point is nice and tight in the tool, so tighten it up with your pair of pliers. But if you want to make a nice curvy cut, which is impossible when you're using a craft knife, you want to hold the foam core up or the board up and go all the way down to the bottom, and you can make a nice wavy cut. You can also make a bevel cut if you wish to do that, but it's kind of nice to be able to cut circles or ovals or wavy lines, and you can't do that well with a craft knife. You can also cut styrofoam, and because your blade sometimes isn't as thick as the styrofoam, you have to go from one side and then go back, turn it over, and use the other side so that you go all the way through, and then you can break it off. So sometimes a residue will build up on your hot knife, and you want to wipe it. If your tool is hot, just wipe it on a soft cloth or paper toweling. If your tool is cold, then you can clean it with sandpaper and just rub the point over the sandpaper, and the residue will come off. Another thing that I really like cutting with the hot knife is pumpkins. And you see these in all the craft stores, and I've already started here. I cut the stem off, and now I'm going to just draw the face design that you want on the pumpkin with a marker pen, and then when you push the point into the pumpkin, you just follow along and cut out the other eye, and you'll see that it's just like cutting butter. It's so easy to go right through the pumpkin, and I can feel that my point, because I've been twisting it, my point is getting a little it's not as tight in my tool, so just always make sure that you keep it nice and tight with the pliers. So you saw how easy that was to take out. And you can carve your pumpkins any way you want, and you can save them from year to year, and that's a nice thing. The last thing that I want to show you is cutting rubber stamps. And this is a set of rubber stamps from Quiet Fire. Sometimes they come with the stamps all together, and it's just on a piece of rubber. And so you want to be able to cut through the rubber close to the edge of the stamp itself. I'm going to check my tool here. So I want to cut right along don't feel the heat on here. There. So get right next to the edge of that, and on this one I'm cutting out a heart shape. And just cut right through, and you can come back and trim up some of the other areas, but because it's rubber, it's just cutting through nice and simple. So you let the knife do some of the cutting, and then the heat from the tool will do the rest. I have a little spot here. Once you get that done, you can put it onto the foam that you use for holding it on to as a cling stamp. So I'm pressing it down on here, and now I'm going to cut this portion. Pull it away from the backing. I'm cutting it away, and then I'm going to come back in and trim it up. Make sure you always keep the cord behind you as a safety issue. It makes it a lot easier to work with. So you see how nice it trims up, and then it's ready for you to put onto an acrylic block and ready for stamping. So that's all about the hot knife that comes with the Creative Versatool. Thanks for watching. See you next time.